Hi, I'm Norman Perillo, a furniture designer maker at Perillo Design and a woodworking educator author at WoodSkills.
He's been working on. So
I'll start.
You're gonna start? Perfect.
So this
Keeps
is
me out of the picture.
it's a portable tool case. I'll give a backstory. That's me 20 years ago, 21 years ago, with Young Chan. Does everybody know Young Chan? Is there anybody know?
No.
Oh, he's
No.
exceptional furniture maker from California, and he specializes in, actually the course I was on was, this was Rosewood Studio, and that's Ted Brown's, Ted Brown, anybody familiar with Ted Brown? He ran the school. That was his workbench, and that's a certificate from the College of the Redwoods. He actually pointed that out to me because I sent him that picture. So that's Young Chan. He came up from San Francisco. He's a guest instructor. And the course was, believe it or not, it's a hand tool oriented school, but this particular class was classic joinery using power tools, so we hardly ever touched any hand tools. But aside from that, so when he travels, when Young Chan travels, he brings this portable tool case with him, and I was very, very impressed with it, and so were a lot of other people. So I took a couple of pictures, and I primarily took dimensions of it because I told myself one day I'd want to build it. So late last fall, I sort of ran out of projects to do, and I remembered this, and I took it upon myself to build it. So I completed this around Christmas time, and I made some changes, some enhancements, even from the scale drawings I'll show you. But that's the original. Now I only know of one other instance of this, and that's, you guys familiar with Steve, forget his name, Southwestern out there, Steve Durr. Yeah, he's actually made one.
Yeah.
So he attended Rosewood Studio also.
Yeah.
He must have found out about this too. So he actually made one, and I might have a picture of his. So,
He's the veneer guy.
yeah, exactly. He wrote a book on that. So working strictly with images and some rough dimensions, and Steve's version and this version, I sort of did some scaling, and it came up with, because all you really need is the width, the height, and the most difficult part was the stand, the tilt on the angle on the stand, because it's all inclusive. And I'll show some pictures of that. The stand disassembles and it fits into the, and this box has a lip and a rabbet, so it comes together, and I took it apart earlier, of course, to transport it. And I made some changes. His version has a lip and a rabbet actually profiled into the edges. And I found that, I changed that design because I found the lip was kind of small, it was a 1/4 inch. It was kind of fragile for my taste. So I did it differently. I did an outside box, and then I made this the lip, the inner compartment edges, or the outside frame. And I used this as the rabbet for that, for this, and this is a 1/4 inch high. And I made some other change from his version, had absolutely no drawers. Young Chan's version, where this has, the original one didn't have a compartment here. So I started adding drawers, and they're actually easy to make, so they're more compartments with some leather straps for measuring and marking tools. That was fun making those. And Steve Durr, forget his, can't pronounce it.
Garbidi.
What?
Dirk Garbidi.
Yeah, Steve Durr Garbidian's version had a couple of drawers, I think. I have a picture. So that's, now there's something interesting about this picture. Can anybody guess what it is?
Something interesting about what?
The picture, the photo.
The photo.
My hair is getting not as gray.
Did I still look the same after 20 years?
Close enough.
My wife laughed at that one. Well, that's what's the word, genesis for this. that's the same, that's Young Chan's version again. I found this, he spoke at a large woodworking guild in California 15, 20 years ago. He's still an active woodworker, by the way, and he travels. And so I used this picture along with the other picture, and I started to understand how he created that frame and a stand. And it took forever to decipher all this. And that's Steve, their whatever, his version. So he did have some drawers, and now the thing about these portable tool cases, they're really, really customized to the tools you have. So these are completely customized to my hand plane, my wooden hand planes that I made 22 years ago or something, 23 years ago. And this and these Japanese planes. So that's his version, and his version, if I'm not mistaken, is completely in oak. So I had a choice of, that was another criteria, I wasn't sure what type of wood to use, so I wanted something a little lighter, so the outside frame is black limba, and the inner part is walnut. I use walnut too, but then the other dilemma I had was, should I finish it or not? And I opted not to finish it at all, I just couldn't settle on the finish. I bought the Osmo and the whole thing, but I didn't want it dark in the wood, so I just left it as is. I might still finish it. So that's Steve's version. This is when I began to lay things out. And the only real way to design one of these is to actually lay things out in full scale. And this is, just brought them in like that. I did make many changes to these. Actually, they don't even probably look much like the final version. So the only way to really do it is full scale to the tools you have. It's very critical to get it right with the tools, because the chisel lengths in particular, I mean, if you make a mistake here, you always have to design around your longest chisel. And, fortunately, most chisel lengths are fairly standardized. This is a longer one. For what?
We're suggesting you just grind the extra off your chisels. If they don't fit, just take the top off.
Grind it,
I'll take the handle off.
grind it down.
So that was quite an exercise of a matter of 3 or 4 days trying to get everything right. And notice some of the chisels don't even come close to what these are now. And I just opted on wooden spoke shaves. I restored these wooden spoke shaves a year or two ago, and they're lighter, so I opted for these. They work well. So another criteria is a weight. Try to keep the weight down. And so I just opted for wooden planes, wooden spoke shaves, and Japanese saws, kataba, areoba, and Suzuki. Some more layout options, or still working things out here. Japanese squares, layout tools.
His original one had a bow saw, didn't it?
No.
No.
Oh, I don't
In
know.
the picture,
The picture did.
In the picture, it showed a bow saw.
had a push pump drill.
Really?
Go back to that picture.
Yeah, well, this compartment, I forgot to put a plane adjusting hammer here. Should have. So it's at some point, there it is, that's a plane adjusting hammer. But at some point you get away from his version and you start to really develop yours, because it's really based on the tools I have. His chisels are all shorter, I'm not mistaken. And I think he makes most of his tools, he makes most of his settings. So this is the beginning of it. The outside frame is dovetail. And if I had to do anything differently now, I made them separately. But the smart way to do it is to make them one piece and then saw it apart, although it could be kind of unwieldy on a table saw. But that's the smarter way to do it. This is where the big moment where I try to determine if everything is uniformly square between the larger, the deeper case and the top part. And it was. So that's what it looked like when I was assembling. This again is 2 months ago, over 2 months ago. That's, oh, this is what it looked like. I was actually gonna stop here, but then I said, you know, it just doesn't look right with these large compartments. Everything's moving around. It just doesn't make sense to have everything shifting around in the compartments, especially that compartment above the hand planks, so that's when I built it up. I decided to fill it in. Yeah, no hand tools, sorry guys. So it's dados, so many dados with this, and so critical to get these dados lined up. Even if you use the same piece of wood and then slice it and rip it along, you still have to, still a matter of lining it up, and all the rabbits have to, it just drive you crazy, especially if you have OCD or something. But that was fun. And I do have this, this is interesting, it's a router table sled. Has anybody ever seen one of these?
No, never seen that before.
It's amazing. I use that for, with a fence, there's a stop, and it just slides along. I built this 20 years ago. It works well. I lubricate the sides. And
So you just bolt the router underneath?
yeah, the router's always bolted.
Oh, you just
There's
leave it
a conventional fence under. I just pull it off. It's on the bottom now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a router table sled, call it.
Okay.
It just slides along.
So you just have tracks on either side?
No, that's the outside of the table itself is a
Right.
And you see the stop with
Oh, yeah,
channel.
okay.
Works really well.
Sneaky.
You didn't set up a pin so that you can just keep going from one to the next, and that keeps everything perfectly aligned?
No, he's got a block on it, stop block.
I just put out basically the same way.
Yeah, an indexing pen,
An
yeah. I use that
indexing
for some equal parts and all.
Yeah.
Could have
Norm,
Yep.
does the sled have runners that ride against the edge of the table?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way it
Yes.
works, okay.
So it was very important, very critical to get your table perfectly square. And it's very tight, but keep it waxed, and it's just amazing. A lot of shooting board work with this, especially for the miters and for fitting all the components. And I use that religiously, nonstop. My most used jig in my workshop. I have two of them set up now. With 90 degree and 45 degree attachments. So what I normally do is rough the parts out very close to the final dimension and then fine tune them on a shooting board.
Nor, would you use your shooting board for the 45, or would you use your
45.
miter jack? Like, would you do your 90 on your shooting board and your 45 on your
No,
miter
the
jack?
same one. All the cases, the drawers are all 45. They're all
So
round.
you're gonna sell me your miter jack?
What? I've got two of them. You want both?
So how do you do the 45? Because the shooting board's gonna give you, like you can do a 45 on the
Oh,
flat.
there's an attachment. I might show that. There's a 45 degree attachment.
So you can, like you just
It's
take
like a
a
ramp
the
down.
fence?
Yeah, it's a
45?
ramp. It's a ramp and it bolts in.
Okay.
Yeah. Might have it. No, I don't have it. So this is where I'm doing preliminary fitting of all parts. There's some stressful points, but then it's also fun getting everything in there and watching it building up. Well, that's the ramp.
Oh, I see, okay.
So you just bring it down.
So you just have a 45-degree
Yeah.
ramp and you just run it along the, oh, okay.
So different versions of this. There's some more interesting versions of how to create miters. But because the sides and the front of this are only 3/16, a quarter inch, so it's
Yeah.
really.
All right.
Fitting that middle compartment. And I actually assembled them strictly with blue tape, couple miters and wrap them around, you know, that system, gluing it all together. Might even have a photo of that.
Do you use splines in the afterwards?
Spines, keys, yeah, clip feathers. Building up the drawers. I use leather straps for a reason because I want, it's important to maintain a low profile, so everything fits together, so.
Those shoelaces, Mike?
No, they're, my wife does jewelry, so these leather straps, leather roll people buy. Just a bunch of fitting the drawer. Now, this was the interesting part of laying all this, I'm trying to understand how this works. And doing this all manually without a CNC, this is ideal for a CNC. You're doing multiples of these. So all the slots were created on a drill press table with a fence, series of holes, and then files. And this was done with a saw. Everything was cut out on a bandsaw. Earlier on a table saw and a bandsaw. So these are actually different for both cases, and they come together and they disassemble. Does everybody understand what I'm referring to? Everything fits in
Actually,
here.
if you can pull off and show one,
Yeah.
pull off.
Oh, I've got a photo here. That's the other, so that's this one, the lower one. The larger case has only 2 slots for some reason, and then this upper case has 3. And they all fit in. And that's a Young Chan. This is Young Chan's design, just for the most part. This is the concept, not this particular design, but the concept. And everything fits in, it's interlocking, and it fits in here, so.
Are they stacked, one on top of the other?
What do you mean?
Is there 2 layers there? We're only seeing
No,
the upper layer?
no, just, oh no, each half has its.
Oh, it fits in its own
has-
half.
yeah, yeah. I've also got these strips. The man thought of everything. So you wonder, so when you're putting this back together, this is the part that sits on the table, for example, on the workbench, and this is the part that flips over. So the big concern is everything's gonna fall. So he developed a system of these strips, and they fit into little mortises, and they're actually sort of concave, or convex in the middle for distributing the pressure, and it fits in, so you actually, if you flex a little, you just have to get the right thickness so they flex correctly, so they have tenons in the ends, and it seems to work fine.
How's that work now? I don't quite understand.
Can you show us?
Yeah, sure. And this fits in there. Don't forget, there's another layer of,
Oh, okay. It's after you put the stands in.
yeah, so this flexes, and you haven't slapped, so.
Obviously, the strips are in place in the left image up there.
Yeah, they're only on the one side. Yeah, this is the part that actually flips over onto that
Ah,
side,
right.
so that there's no problem with
I see.
It's so much thought that goes into it. It's pretty clever, right?
It can't
It's
be the
not
first one he made.
Cool,
Young Chan.
yeah, I think so. Just for personal use. I don't know what I'm doing there. Probably just trying to see if that stand part's fitting or something. And these are the 2 stands, one for each, assembled. And that's exactly what it looks like today, most likely. Oh, and then phase 2 of this was, I thought, this is crazy to make something like this and only use it to be able to transport tools. So I thought this should be up in my workshop somewhere on a wall. So this perf board's been up for 25 years. So I said, that's the only spot I had available. So what to do. I hardly ever change saw blades on my table saw. I have a combination blade and I don't use it much. They're just there for decor. And so I removed it, And it's been there so long that it starts ripping out drywall and I have to repair all the drywall. But then I used that space for this and I created some torsion boxes with the black limba trim. And they're lag bolted into the studs. And they're torsion boxes, so they've held up since. And that's how I've set it up in the workshop now. But that's formerly where the board was, the tool board. And there was some remnants of tools on that tool board that I still needed to access, some measuring tools, layout tools, so there it is. It's over in another wall somewhere. That's all I really need from that tool board after everything.
So that shelf that you put underneath that,
Yeah,
how did you connect it back? So that it didn't just,
well, it's a torsion box, so it's
Yeah,
all
but-
reinforced with.
but it's connected back into the studs
Yeah.
on your, so how did you connect back into the studs? Just screw it in or?
Light bolts.
Light bolts?
Yeah, yeah. Light bolts, light bolts, and it's pre-measured to hit the studs. It would have to go in the studs.
Yeah.
It's just some other. You have any questions? Or I don't know what else?
Yeah, two of them.
Oh.
Is that shop, like, is that just for show? Because, I mean, it is obscenely
Yeah.
clean. And dust-free and,
That comes up every time.
Yeah.
I always like that. It gets dirty. I have a broom there all the time. My
yeah.
wife
See, we
cleans
have
it.
some, sorry, too, it's, no dust.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised at all the crap.
yeah.
It's just
Charles, I was
mostly-
in Norm's shop once, I took my shoes off and walked around my shop.
Like
The only
Don's
shop
been-
that's cleaner than
Don's been in
Wayne.
my shop. It's
Oh,
like,
it's spick and span, was that yours? And yours, not a speck anywhere.
Yeah, but no woodworking is being done. Hey, Brian,
It gets dirty.
Okay,
did
and-
Lee Valley at one point in time sell, Chum's chisels, the tiny little chisels that he used to have?
We sold a set that
Right here.
were designed by.
Right here, right here.
Yun Chen, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are the
Right,
ones,
and we know
eh?
that-
Right here, right here.
I know, but
Yeah.
they're
And they
lovely.
were made, I think they were designed by Yun
Right
Chen,
there.
and did we not have them made by
Yeah,
Bob
there
Bibby?
was a knife maker.
Brian.
Bob
Guy
Bibby.
in that
Yes,
Nova
that's right.
Scotia.
Yeah,
Bob Bibby.
Yeah.
You should bring them back, they're
He
lovely.
won't make them
Norm has
anymore.
got something to say
I
on that.
know.
They're right there. Detail.
Yeah,
What's that?
They're right there, the
yeah,
details.
yeah,
Roger was asking if we used to sell them.
No, That's where I bought them.
yeah,
The dark colored one?
That's a good idea,
20
Roger,
years
thank
ago.
you.
yeah, and also the ramp too. Yeah, the miter ramp too, Brian, the miter ramp too.
A miter ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, for the.
Yeah, for the shooting
Because you
board.
see, yeah, we do, the shooting board we sell is fine for, what do you call it, any miters.
Face
But for
miters.
Face miters,
Face
we have a
miters.
ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But not
so
case- not
you
case
need an
miters, not-
accessory to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, not case miters, face miters on that. I have another
Come on,
attachment.
guys.
I have another attachment on that shooting board for face miters, but you saw the case miter attachment. Well, those are detailed chisels, and I have a stand for that. I've got 6, and they were expensive at the time.
Oh, yeah,
But they're strictly for pairing,
Yeah.
light pairing too.
I've got these two that are in the
Any other, you asking them?
So, yeah, and question two, like you've made this case for traveling to go somewhere and everything else. Do you like do off-site installations or things like that?
No,
or-
just demonstrations.
Oh, demonstrations for your.
I do, I'm gonna get upset now. Some guest lecturing at Industrial Design at Carleton for their program,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna be bringing it in. So that sort of thing, whenever I'm invited somewhere. I might be going to the Furniture Society conference as a speaker. I might bring this down, see if I can get away with it at the border. That sort of thing.
I think if I was to do something like that, it'd probably be quite embarrassing. I'd be bringing most of my stuff in one of
Do you
these.
think if we're on vacation, my wife would notice it? No, don't bring that.
Would you dare put that in check bags?
No, no. So,
It's a bit
strictly-
big for carry on, I don't
I
know.
don't think you take sharp edges on prey.
Yeah, the carrying is really tricky.
I wouldn't even take a flight with this. I'd probably just
No,
drive the
drive,
distance.
yeah.
Norm, just a practical question, when it comes together, how do you carry it? I mean,
I
is
carried
there-
it in, but I had to remove the planes. I hurt my back shoveling snow a few days ago, so
Okay.
I'm wearing a weight belt, a weight training belt. It comes together,
Yes.
and
What
straps.
is it, what straps, okay.
It's-
Okay.
But I'm going to get nicer straps. I just wasn't ready. Nicer luggage straps.
Yeah.
Heavy
Like
duty luggage straps.
leather luggage straps.
Yeah,
Yeah. Be kind of nice to
wider,
have
wider ones.
handles on each end of it.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, if they can support the weight, yeah, yeah.
I suggested wheels on the bottom too.
There you go.
A little motor.
Didn't journeyman woodworkers used to like walk around with a case like that and go
Not
from
quite
town
like
to
this,
town
not
until
quite
they got
like
their
this
masters?
with that idea, with this concept. I've never seen that, really. I
Mhm.
mean, they have toolboxes, they lay on the floor and
Yeah.
they
He used to use tool totes.
the tool totes too.
Yeah.
But- So again, the first time I saw it was 2004, I think. It's one of the first classes I took at Rosewood.
Well, obviously, the guy that you saw,
Young Chen, Young Chen.
he must have taken that on an aircraft, because he came up from
Yeah,
California.
he did.
Yeah, so he must have a way of doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember. You might
I
have-
just put it into a backpack.
Not very,
You might have met, yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, back then, you could just.
You might have mentioned it.
Pelican box or a
Yeah, that's probably what he did, put it in a Pelican box.
Put it what?
A Pelican box, you know, one of those padded.
Maybe like a
Yeah,
Fiberglass.
because he did bring some other,
Mhm.
Yeah, but a Pelican that size would be,
500.
yeah, at least.
what is that? Is it fiberglass?
It's just a heavy-duty shipping crate type of box.
It's fiber
Plastic
reinforced.
lined
But they
with
normally come loaded with the foam, so you could
Yeah,
just,
you just drop it in.
just cut out the foam and drop all these in then,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that.
Again, this is these are the first drawings and kind of stopped with these at one point when I started putting the drawers in, but it's very, very critical to get everything right down to a 32nd of an inch. As it interlocks, it comes together. So.
Where'd you learn old-fashioned drafting? By yourself?
This is drafting?
Yeah?
Oh, I studied drafting in college.
Good.
I don't know. Just the only way to do this is full-scale drawings.
Yeah.
Just use, I have, the Amazon, Costco box, I keep them all. I cut them up into sheets. I don't have anything to add.
Great.
Well, maybe we'll take a bit of a break and have a chat, and I think there's another presentation here. Okay.
Yeah, just give me some time to set up.
Yeah.
There we go.
So in the meantime, we're coming up to the end of our season.
So please subscribe to my YouTube woodworking channel, where I share more of my woodworking techniques, my woodworking philosophy, my thoughts on woodworking, and all the challenges I've experienced. And I introduce some of the new forms of woodworking I've discovered. And also visit woodskills.com, where I have a good selection of my books, both in print and digital format on woodworking, and all my online courses, and I also offer some woodworking plans. I have maintained a regular blog on what I've got going on in my workshop and in woodworking in general. So enjoy.